Dear friends, welcome to Embedded Hardware Design. Let me tell you what is an embedded system is. Embedded system is everywhere around you. Actually, we can define embedded system as a computer-based system, but the complexity of the system is hidden from the end user. The typical examples of embedded systems are smartphones, washing machines, smart TV. Everywhere you can see one or other embedded system nowadays. Let's start. What does an embedded hardware engineer do? Embedded hardware engineer will be doing the design of embedded systems. In that, first he will be studying about the system. Once all the studies, feasibility study is done, he will be making the proof of concept. When the proof of concept is verified, then they will do for the full-fledged design, then development, then testing of the embedded hardware that they made. Let's see what and all skill set an embedded hardware engineer required. An embedded hardware design is broadly classified as analog hardware design and digital hardware design. Let's take an example of analog hardware. Analog hardware typically consists of a sensor, an ADC, sensor signal conditioning circuit, an ADC, and the output of ADC will be connected to the processor. The sensor output generally will be voltage or current. There are other sensors which can provide output other than this. Generally, the signal conditioning will be amplification, and then there will be filtering also. Then the output of signal conditioning is connected to ADC. Why we are using ADC is like a processor or controller cannot process analog data directly, so we need to convert this analog data into digital format. For that purpose, we are using the ADC. There are some microcontrollers in which inbuilt ADC is available. In that case, you need not use this analog to digital converter after the signal conditioning stage. You can directly connect it to the ADC of the microcontroller. Let's take an example of digital hardware. In digital hardware, we will be directly connecting the digital devices to the processor or controller. In case of digital hardware, there is no need of an ADC in between the digital hardware and the processor or controller. They can directly microprocessor or controller can directly accept the signals coming from the digital devices. Let's start with analog hardware. In the analog hardware, let's start with op-amp based circuit design. You know, op-amp is one of the very widely used components in analog circuit design. Let's start with the basics of circuit theory. If you want to be good in circuit analysis, you should be good in circuit theory. So let me give a brief introduction of some basic circuit theory concepts. Let's start with Ohm's law. Ohm's law states that in a conductor, the voltage generator V is directly proportional to the current flowing through it. We can write it as V equal to Ri, where R is the resistance of the conductor. We can write I equal to V by R. Let me take a resistor R. I need to find the current flowing through this resistor R. Let it be I. This potential is at VA and this potential is at VB, and VA greater than VB. We know that current will be always flows from higher potential to the lower potential. So I need to find I can write as from Ohm's law I can write as I equal to V by R. So V here equal to VA minus VB. So finally I can write I equal to VA minus VB by R. Let's do a problem based on this. See here you can see 4 circuits given. if you look closely, you can see they are different. If you see here, the polarity is like this, but here polarity is opposed to that. Let's find the current flowing through each of these circuit. This is the first circuit, this is the second one, this is the third one, this is the fourth one. Let's take the first circuit. We know that the conventional current direction is from plus terminal to the minus terminal. In the circuit first, the conventional current and the given current direction both are same. So I can write I equal to V by R. V is 5, R equal to 10K. So I will get 500 microamps. In the second case, conventional current direction is given like this, but the actual current direction is given like this, but the conventional current will be flowing like this. So in the second case, current I will be equal to minus 500 microampere. In this case, the supply is given like this. In the third case, what they gave is plus minus 5 volt. This I can write it as minus plus 5 volt. If you see this circuit, then the current flow is given in the question is like this, but the conventional current flow will be like this. So in this case 3, we will get current equal to minus 500 microampere. You can apply the same concept to problem number 4. Then what you will get is I equal to plus 500 microampere. We will stop for today. In the coming sessions, I will be covering the remaining parts of circuit theory.